Thanks to God, we have a powerful word coming at you this morning called Get Over It. God never said the rain wouldn't come, but he did say he'll pull you through it. So when the storm comes, you got to learn how to get over it, get past it, and move forward. You be blessed and watch this.
Will not allow me to go into the in-depthness of all the things, but I believe even right now that we got some people that have had a Paul experience that is sitting right in the midst of us. I know that we have had people that was on the verge of death, and God raised them up. Just wave your hand, baby. Yeah. She was losing it, but God brought her back. Touch somebody and tell him he'll bring you back. Yeah. No matter how close you are, he'll bring you back. Look at somebody and tell him, I'm in recovery. Yeah, I'm in the emergency room. I'm coming back. Look at somebody and tell them, I'm bouncing back. I might have had a battle, but I'm bouncing back. I might have been crying, but I'm bouncing back. I might have been at a low esteem, but I'm bouncing back. Tell them I'm just like a bomb that's filled with the right air. Every time I hit the ground, I'm coming up again. Touch somebody and tell them, you might see me down, but give me some room because I'm coming up. Yeah. It's not what's around you that brings you up. It's what's in you that brings you up. Ooh, y'all are getting this later. Now, I'm going to go a little deep today, and I'm going to go a little hard today, and I hope you will be able to handle today, because today is going to prepare you for the rest of your life. Today is going to prepare you for your next year. When I read this about Paul, he wrote this letter. I get so excited, I get off key, I get off trying to do like all these other pastors, be so secluded. But when I think of the goodness of Jesus and all that he has done for me, knowing that I shouldn't have been here. Somebody holler, just but God. I should have been in the hospital bed. Somebody just holler, but God. That accident I had last year should have took me out, but God. Yeah, that sickness should have took me out, but God. I thought I was going down for the last time, but somebody shout, but God. I should have lost my mind of all the things that I've been through, but I heard the word say he's a mind regulator. Tell somebody he brought me back when I was losing. I was looking at Paul. Can I just read a couple of verses?
Yes.
And in the 12th verse, in the 3rd chapter, I just want to read this. It says, now that I have already attained or am already perfected, but I press on that I may lay hold on that for which Christ has also laid hold on me. Now that might sound like Paul is mixed up, but Paul is not confused.
All right.
Because when he thought about it, he went back to the Damascus Road experience. You see, because he thought he had it all together. He thought he was working the plan of God. But at the same time, he was working against the God. Okay. You got to watch the enemy, because he'll make you think you're online, and then you're really offline. But the thing that I love about Paul is that he remembered what he'd been through. And now he said, I'm out to grab a hold of that grabbed a hold. Y'all ain't got it yet. Yeah, because it had to grab me first. Ooh. And on the road to Damascus, when he thought he was doing the right thing, the anointing knocked him off his horse. Look at somebody and tell him, sometimes God has to knock you down in order to pick you back up. Y'all ain't got it yet. So watch this. Don't think when he knocks you down that it's all over. But when he knocks you down, it will bring you back to reality, to understand I ain't all of that I thought I was. Sometimes he has to take you to the lowest denominator nominee in order to bring you up to the highest destiny. Y'all ain't got that. Just look at somebody and tell them, and when you get knocked down, just tell them, I'm all right here. Because after a while, I'm coming up. I'm getting up from where I am. I'm not here for a defeated purpose, but I'm here for a rising purpose. Because I have to get everything knocked out of me in order for God to refill me. Some of us need some stuff knocked out. Some of us need some ideas knocked out. Some of us need some mess knocked out of us so God can refill us. We got too much stuff clogging our arteries. There's not a free blood flow that will massage the heart. There has to be to where God would allow a stent to go through the main artery to unclog some stuff. That will be a blood flow. That your heart will beat right. And that your mind will think right. So sometimes we have to tell God to knock me down in order to raise me up. Now I'm only talking to people that are tired of being where you are. Somebody shall take a deep breath. I'm only talking this year to the go-getters. Those that want to change in their lives. Those that want something to happen different. And as I was looking at Paul, he said he knocked me down. God knocked him off. And then he said, Paul, why do you persecute me? And he said, who art thou? He said, I am God whom thou persecutest. Wait a minute. One thing I found out about God, that when he knocks you down, he's going to set you up for another adventure on a new level with a new mindset. You might lead blind, but you are about to see a new vision. Look at somebody and tell them, open my eyes. Watch this. Time won't allow it. And the Bible says that he knocked him down. And what I love about Paul is that all the things he's been through. It is said, and the 13th verse says, brethren, I do not count myself to have apprehended, but one thing I do.
All right now.
Look at somebody and tell them what you're going to do this year. Paul said, one thing I do, forgetting I want to talk to some forgetters today. One thing I do. Wait a minute. He's trying to get me to lose my page, but I ain't losing that. He said, forgetting those things which are
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
which are
Behind.
You ain't getting it.
Oh, yes.
Which means that I've already been through it. And they're no longer in front of me. But they are behind me. Y'all need to do this. Behind me.
Jesus.
What's this? And reaching forward.
Yes.
And reaching forward. And reaching. Maybe I need to say it until they get into the bone. Forward. And reaching goal is set for where I'm going and not for where I've been. Wait a minute. Let me get through with this. Got a few minutes here. Watch this. To those things which are. 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 Ahead of me. Can I get some water? Reaching, because if I'm reaching for what's behind me, then I'm going in the wrong direction. Touch somebody and tell them, change your direction. Is it all right if I drink just a little water? What's this? I press toward the goal. Not only the goal, but for the prize of the upward calling, which means my calling is not of this world, which means there is a higher calling. Ooh, y'all ain't getting this. Y'all ready for me to preach it? I'm already preaching. Watch this. Therefore, let us, as many as are mature, have this mind. And if anything you think otherwise, God will reveal this to you. Nevertheless, to the degree that we have already attained, let us walk by the same rule. Let us be of the same mind. I got about 2 minutes here. When I looked at Paul, the purpose of him writing this letter was to the Philippians. It was a place where he started a new church. Okay. And now he was, watch this, he wasn't in Philippi, but he was in prison. Woo. Look at somebody and tell them you got to learn how to get comfortable in uncomfortable places. Watch this. This man was in prison, writing a letter to folks that was out of prison, encouraging them to have the same mind. Woo. Y'all got to be. If some of us was in prison, we would be banging on the walls, telling them, get me out of here. Get me. But Paul understood that where he was not final. Sometimes you have to take advantage of your bad situation and learn how to write yourself out of what you're in. And learn that where you are is not the end of you. Because the end was finished when he hung on the cross. So if the end was finished when he hung on the cross, when he said it was finished, it was my beginning. Y'all ain't got this. Y'all ain't got this. Yeah. When he said it's finished, it wasn't the end of the story, but it was the end of the setup. And when he said it's finished, the finish became my beginning. Y'all ain't got it yet. If he wouldn't have hung and said it is finished, then I wouldn't have a beginning. Y'all ain't got it yet. And he was pierced in his side. And watch this. The stripes that he had on the end of it was the beginning of my healing for my now time. So I'm glad that he ended it so that now I can begin it. When he ended it, he set me up for a new. He knew me before I was born. He knew what I needed before I got here. He knew he had to go to the cross because he knew there was nobody else that was able to hang there from this now. If it wasn't for the blood and the water, when they pierced him in his side, it was the blood and water that washed me and made me whole. It was the blood or the water that separated me from the iniquity that was to come into my life. Let me give you the subject because I don't have a few minutes now. And maybe you have to come back next Sunday and get this. But when I read this about Paul, he said, forgetting those things which are behind and pressing towards the mark. The subject is, I don't know if it's going to offend you, but I got to give it to you. The subject is, get over it. Somebody don't like that, but right now it don't matter to me, because now I understand what he's saying here. The thing that God is trying to do now is to create some folks that have came to the realization that it's time to get over it. I ain't gonna have time. I want to do this. Plug that up right quick. Right quick, I gotta do this within a few minutes. Right quick. I was going to come out here in my jumpsuit, but I didn't know how you was going to take it. So I wanted you to understand this. I ain't got about a few minutes to try to get you to see this. But I want to declare to you that your new beginning is closer than you think. See, you got to understand this, that what God is about to do for you now is not going to be in a circumstance that you look for to be favorable. See, people want God to work to where it's favorable. They don't want to get in an uncomfortable position and allow God to do something for them. See, people think God is working when everything is smooth. But we have missed it because God has already worked. You're just seeing the results of a settled time, a peaceful time. High five somebody next to you and tell them, get over it. The Lord told me now, and can I confess? Within the next few minutes, can I confess? Within the next few minutes, I was sitting and God started showing me this. What's this? And as I minister in life, because I was trying to do things and I was getting my advice from people that had good intention, but they didn't understand my position. What you got to understand is not so much the intention, but you must understand my position. My position that I'm in is not regulated about your concept of me, but it is regulated by the concept that God has assigned me for the test. Now, what God has ministered to me this year is that sometimes I miss the mark, and I have to repent to myself and to the Lord for missing the mark. But God said, if you're willing to receive what is happening and I'm about to do in your life, you got to understand that there are sometimes going to be losses. On the losses, you will become stuck. Now, let me speak to some folks that sit in here that feel like you lost something. What you don't understand is why you're focusing on what you lost. You're forgetting about the God that has everything. Yeah. And while you're trying to figure out how to get back what you lost, He has already made provision. Because you got to understand something. You got to lose in order to get in position. I was telling God I'm not willing that any should perish. But God said, what you got to understand, Pastor, is that everybody is not going to move you all the way. That there is a seasonal time. And then there are some that's going to hang out with you because they understand the vision. And some don't have it yet. But you got to preach to those that don't have it and get ready for those that I'm about to send. But He said, don't get weary in well-doing, for in due season. Let somebody tell them, if you make it through the season, you're going to reap the harvest. Just high-five somebody and tell them, hold on. It might be a slow season, but you are still here. And then watch this season change. comfortable in your slow season while God prepares your good season. If you can make it through the bad time, then the result of the bad time is going to show how much God poured into your life. To get ready for some bad times. You won't have some losses. I said, Pastor, I want to be a different pastor. He said, Pastor, everybody ain't going to agree with you. He said, get over it. See, when I went to him, I didn't expect him to tell me to get over it. I expect him to tell me I'm going to do something for it. But now I understand, Marcus, that everything is not going to go my way. And I got to tell some of you that's looking for God to make your way easy ain't going to happen. Get over it. Because things have to be proven. Get over it. Things have to happen. Get over it. And as I was sitting there, I said, Lord, people have, can I just testify? I said, people have left us. And maybe they're looking at me. God said, Pastor, get over it. He said, they talked about me. Get over it. I lost 1/3 of heaven angels. Get over it. Y'all ain't getting me. He said, if I lost 1/3 and still moving, you got to understand I'm a supplier. I understand the vision. I'm confessing this year. I refuse to take this burden with me into the new year. I confess it. It said they are not giving like they should. I said they are being blessed, but they are not sowing back into you. He said, get over it. I said, then what am I going to do about the building? He said, get over it. He said, if I cause you, I'll establish it. I'll make the rock break you. Y'all ain't getting it. So now I'm growing. Watch this now. I used to cry, and it still hurts me. But God sits there, and I go to him, and Lord said, what? He don't pass me on the back, Marcus. He said, son, he said, I know your heart, and I gave you the vision. But he said, get over it. He said, why are you sitting there moaning? I'm getting ready to bring in some new stuff. And with you moaning about the old stuff, I can't bring in the new stuff because you're stuck in the past. And the past got you stuck. Oh, what should I preach, God? He said, preach the gospel. He said, preach it in season. He said, preach it out. He said, preach it if they like it, and preach it if they don't like it. Preach it if they agree with you, and if they don't agree with you. He said, get over it. I know the enemy hit me, but I also know what God told me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
As I was there, and I thought about some things, and the Lord wants me to tell you in time. Could I have some water? That if you're going to have a productive year, if you really want your finance to flourish, he said, because what I'm going to do in the next year, I'm only going to bless the folks that's going to get over it. Because those that are trying to carry it into the next year, you're going to have the same effect that you had this year. He said, the new year, I'm looking for get over folks. He told me, he said, that's all right. He said, I got people that are set for you. He said, you got to trust me. He said, as you go through life, and see, the reason why we pick up so much stuff is that we hear so many people.
Jesus.
We listen to so many things.
My God.
We accept everything else but the truth.
Oh God.
We want to hear somebody that's on our side instead of somebody that's on God's side. We find people that are complaining about the same thing. We won't go to nobody that tells us, honey, get over it. Because we don't want to hear, get over it. What we want to hear is, yeah, honey, I hear what you're saying. Woo! We go to somebody and tell them, pray on it. And let God work it out. We're going to go to somebody that feel like you feel. And see, the trick of the enemy is to get you to see. What he's going to do is reveal folks that feel like you feel in order to keep you locked out of your blessing. Watch this. I've been through some stuff, First Lady and I'm so grateful for where I am. I've had people sat on me and told me I'll do nothing else.
Jesus.
But I have to preach and minister to them. Just like they still support me. And when I look back over, God told me, said, look, you got to stop looking back.
All right.
Because I'm not behind you. He said, I refuse to be behind you. Because all of the mess is behind you. He said, I'm in front of you. And what it is, my arm is stretched out. He told me that first you have to start declaring what you see before they declare. But this is what he told me. He said, you got to understand that the vision of the ministry is not so much on the people, but it's on the one I gave the plan to. And if the one that has the plan cannot read the plan, then the vision can't be built. You got to get your mind off and focus on the plan. And the plan said, I'll never leave nor forsake you. The plan said, no weapon formed against you shall prosper. Yeah. It says, anything that you asked in my name, I'll give it to you. The plan said, before you get through asking, I said, here I am. And I'm trying to feel it. Stop waiting on folks. He said, because I'm greater. He said, start hanging out with people that see what you see. Sometimes we get wrapped up in this. Let me tell you something. As we go through life, I got to preach to you. Because I declare that this ministry will not go into next year struggling, crawling, complaining, fighting, going against, not being faithful. But we will go into the new year. And what I see has to come into place. And I release the fullness of God. I go against everything that the enemy might release. That it ain't going to work. Watch this. God is, y'all are waiting on God. God is waiting on you. It's what you offer him.
Come on now. Thank you. All right. Thank you.
One more time. It's what you offer him. That's not the time. No, that's not the time. I'm almost finished. This is what I want this ministry to understand. I'm almost finished. I ain't gonna have time. Watch this. Let me show you something. You gotta get over it.
Yes, sir.
Watch this. If he was mistreated as baby Jesus, what if he would have turned around before he got to Gethsemane? Let me put this out. God wants me to tell you today in time that he's not going to do any more blessing over mess. You won't have to have a made up mind. No wavering. No up and down. What's this? I done had people sit on me and say, I ain't giving nothing else but God. God had people come off the street and send money. They told me I moved from another city. Watch this. And there was a church over there. They said I went over there to pay my tithes to the church. And it said they wouldn't receive them. So he said I came across the street. And he said, I decided I would sow my tithes here. Touch somebody and tell them God will make up the difference. But we want God to make the difference when we ain't sowing. We want God to make up the difference when we are not being faithful. We want God to make up a difference when we only giving him a portion. And we want him to fulfill everything that we gave out. We want him to heal our family. But we only pray when we feel like it. We want him to bless our finances. But when he blesses us, we are not sowing our seed. Quiet, good. Because I come to tell you this year, God is not blessing people that are not getting over it. What's this? Too many times we go through life and we hear everybody except the one God has assigned over us. And that's why we pick up so much stuff blocking us down. Because we are not hearing the one that is assigned to us. We're hearing somebody on the outside, looking on the inside. And we just accept it. Because we want somebody to agree with us when we don't agree. Y'all listen. We want somebody to agree with us when we disagree about something. So what we do, find somebody that thinks like, that's why Paul said that we have to have the same mindset. Because you're going to find somebody that thinks like you think. And watch this, it's the trick of the enemy. It does not mean that they agree because they understand the Lord. It means that the enemy set them in your path. So that you won't find somebody that will tell you the truth. That you will hear a lie and be lost.
Yes, sir.
I gotta go. What's this? A lot of us has a lot of weight from hearing so much gossip. And feeding into so much mess that has nothing to do with God. And you wonder why the load is so heavy. And why the joy looks like it's leaving you. Because you're cluttered with a lot of stuff. God said, if you're going to trust me, Pastor, you got to get over the one that are leaving that ain't with you. Get over it. What's this? I'm going to come back on this one. What's this? He said the reason why you got to understand. Because now, turn that thing on for me. I gotta go. We are trying to get to a place where we're losing weight by carrying extra stuff. Turn it on. I ain't gonna stay on this long for sure. Is it gonna hold my weight? Okay, roll with it. Bible to see that you are in motion, but you're not moving. It looks like you're doing something. It looks like you're going somewhere, but you're just in motion. It's a convenience because you don't have to really get out there. Touch somebody next to you and tell them, get off the treadmill. Now watch this. Come stand right here, Brother Mike. Just turn this way, turn this way. We want to look like we're progressing because what we do is get on here and feel like we are getting over it. Yeah, just there you go. I'll keep moving. There you go. And what we're trying to get over is not going behind us. It's right beside us. And we think because we are moving that we are getting past. But what we are doing is on a convenient trick. We want to look like we're getting past and feel like we're moving, but we ain't getting past it. Because what we are on is an instrument that makes us feel like something, but ain't really doing it. And the issue is still there. And we're sweating and breathing hard and almost going down. We think we are getting past it. And then we start running. And notice that what we're trying to get over ain't going nowhere. It's still there. We don't want people to see us stuck, but we want to move like we. Can somebody tell them, get off the treadmill? We come in smiling like we ain't got over it. But we on the treadmill. What it is, it's a convenience to be in the motion and make it look like we're doing something when we are not in motion. The Bible said, lay aside every weight. We're trying to run the treadmill with extra weight. Trying to get past it, but on the treadmill.
My God, my God.
Convenience. Because when we get off, we ain't got to walk back to where we started. But see, it's not reality. It's just a simulation that you're running. Because real running is when you're on an obstacle course. It's outside of your house. Because this doesn't have rocks and gravel that may cause you to slip. It doesn't have real mountains. But in reality, you ain't climbing. But when you get off the treadmill, go outside in reality and start running the joint road. And the joint is flying. And the gravel is slipping. And you gotta run up some hill. And you gotta jump over some stuff. And you gotta go around some things. We want the convenience of not leaving home. We want God to bless us without us doing nothing. We want the ministry to be blessed by just what we say. The Bible says, can I give it to you straight? A person that put his hands to the plow and look back, the word says he's not worthy of the kingdom.
Help us, God.
Watch this. Let me tell you how you can get stuck, and I gotta let you go. I'm 15 minutes over. It's when you come into this ministry. Watch this. When God reposition you to get you out of the mess, He reposition you. But when He repositions you, you come with the same baggage. You didn't unpack while He was repositioning. Because you got some dirty clothes in your suitcase that needs some washing. And when He repositions What's this? He brings you to end time to reposition you. But when you come to end time, you're still stuck. Because what happened to you at your last church, you don't come here looking that there was a refreshment. You come looking for what happened at your last church will it come. In other words, you don't come with a new fresh start. You bring your baggage with you. And when you sit, you don't have an open mind. You have a closed mind. Because now what you're looking for is not what you got new for me. It's what will he do to me what my last pastor did to me. Will he act like my last pastor acted?
Yes.
But it wasn't all on your last pastor. Watch this. I've come to tell you today that some of these things you got to get over. The reason why you ain't been blessed like you should is you're holding stuff from 8 years ago. The reason why God haven't done more is because you're worried about what somebody said about you. So what? They talked about God. Get over it. You worry about because the pastor didn't speak to me and you walked past me. Get over it. You're worried about because he didn't shake my hand, but he shook her hand. Get over it. Did you come to allow me to shake your hand, or did you come for a purpose? Yeah. The Lord has enlightened me. Pastor, get over it. Everybody ain't going to agree with you. Get over it. Everybody ain't going to love the way you preach. Get over it. Everybody going to say what you ain't doing. Get over it. Everybody ain't going to like what you're doing. Get over it. He told me, get over it. Because they talked about me. Get over it. They said I was of the devil. Get over it.
Thank you, Lord.
Well, he talked about me and he didn't get over it. God didn't tell you that when you come into a new place, you will have peace and perfect peace and no trouble and no issue. The next place that you run to is going to be the same. End time ministry, this is what God's telling me to tell you. Get over it. Holding grudges. Get over it. Because somebody didn't look at you right. Get over it. Somebody passed you up. Get over it. You're not here to get everybody to like you. If you is, you done missed the purpose.
There you go.
If you're here trying to satisfy everybody, you done missed the purpose. If you come so somebody can like what you do, you done missed the purpose. You got to understand, if you're not in the front, get over it. If you want Pete to be the president of the earth, get over it. If you want Pete to be the president of the choir, get over it. What you got to do, make where you are work for you. If you're in the middle, make the middle shine. If you're at the back, make the back shine. Get over it. If you bring it up the rear, then honey, bring up the rear. If you're in the middle, then make the middle different. If you clean the toilet, then clean the toilet. When somebody come in, they say, ooh, that's a clean toilet. You don't have to be up front to be somebody. You don't have to have a title to be something. It's what you do and where you are. Thank you. If I ain't your presence, I ain't doing nothing. Get over it. If you don't recognize me, I ain't paying another dime. Be careful because you may not get another dime. to get over it. It has nothing to do with what I'm doing for you. If they sit on you, let them sit, because they ain't sitting on you, they sitting on themselves. I gotta go, I done went over. Y'all forgive me, I repent today. I told you one. I gotta repent today. Too many churches are going in looking for handouts and not going in to give something. People tell me I come to help you, but then they come to try to control me. You are misunderstanding the definition of help. I already got the plan. You're here to make sure the plan carried out. Come here. Right quick, I gotta go. The Lord told me to come help you. Then come help. Grab that. Pick it up. I want it over here. You say it looks better over there. Say it looks better over there. No, but I want it here.
Come on. Yes, sir.
No, but I want it here. What did you say the Lord told you to come to do? To help me? Yeah. And then they get mad. He ain't coming back here. He told you to come help. He didn't say come be the pastor. He said go help. If he wanted you to be a pastor, he would have done it before you got there. But he sent you where you can grow and learn to be submissive. Because some of us learn how to settle down and get out of mama and daddy's way and get in God's way. I'm just like my mama. That's your problem. My daddy was a fighter. That's your problem. Some folks get in there, my daddy ain't take no stuff. That's your issue. You ain't taking nothing. That's why you ain't blessed now. I ain't bound down to no man. That's all right. I ain't gonna worry about it. Sooner or later, you gonna bow down to somebody. Might not be now, but sooner or later, the Bible says every knee shall bow. You don't bow down to me, I'm gonna get over it. But sooner or later, ain't no man tell me what to do. Yeah, right. Marriage is a bad now because I refuse to be a woman that's going to take us. The Bible says be submissive. No, I'm not. I'm my own woman. That's what happened to Eve. She started trying to give Adam something to eat, and it wasn't for him to eat. And Adam was fool enough to be out of place and don't tell her that ain't right, Eve, and went and ate the apple. Or ate the fruit. He should have told her, look, Eve, put that fruit back on that tree. I don't care how you do it, whether you're tied or wrapped it, put it back on the tree. And the woman got kicked out of the garden. And they wouldn't allow the promise. And they wouldn't have to worry about growing old and getting gray hair and dying. If you can't be submissive to your husband, what makes you think God want to deal with you? You can't even be submissive to the one he gave you. I'm submissive to the Lord. I'm submissive to the Lord, honey. The Lord is my captain of my ship. Well, then, I don't know what ship you on, because you don't have a captain. If your boat just drifting with no guidance, no rod, no captain. And you want to be, let me go this way, and you want to be the head. If you treat her like a lady, and if you treat her, from where she comes from, out of your side, instead of trying to put her behind you, God, when he created her, he did not give you a maid, he gave you a helpmate. Nothing about her said maid. If you want a maid, they got maid services that'll come to your house. But it does not exclude the woman doing her duty. Because you can make him give you what you want if you act right. You'll make it work that overtime. You'll make it work that check in. What you want, girl? What you want? You'll make him come home before dark. You'll make him leave the boys on the corner. Tell him I gotta go. Because what I got at home is better than what I'm hanging out with on the corner. Stop trying to control her. Because you seem like you have a problem controlling yourself. If you can't do what's necessary for you to do as a husband, how can you try to control somebody else when you can't even control what you
Thank you. How you work? You're walking, sir. Yes, sir. Walking everywhere. Yes, sir.
The Bible also said, husbands, submit yourself to your wife. Treat her as a weaker vessel.
That's right. You in the word.
She's not a slave. You treat her like you ain't got to ask her to cook for you. You have your underwear ready. If you treat him right, you ain't got to worry about him looking at Linda. If you stop getting so many headaches at night, then maybe... The Bible says you are not your own. You get one of these headaches that won't leave. I'm the man that act like a man instead of acting like a dictator. Treat her like you want her to treat you. And she won't mind rubbing them rusty feet. Get that straight. Sound like concrete stress. Now watch this. Everybody Because you want somebody that's going to treat you like you, who you are, and what God made you to be. The problem is now a lot of people don't want people in their marriage, and their marriage is going to...
That's right. Yeah.
Take her out sometime instead of... Get her out of the kitchen sometime.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Do what you did before you got her. The same door you used to open a long time ago, you need to start opening it again. Baby, don't do that. Don't touch that door. People might not agree with it, but I'm telling you now, a lot of marriages is in trouble. Divorce is on an all-time high. People want to taste stuff before they commit to stuff. Tell them you ain't gonna take sample of both for them to taste you to see whether they like you or not. It's all of you or none. Put a ring on it up. No samples. Stop giving out samples. Stop giving out samples. That ain't gonna make you better than that person. All they gonna say, hey, look, I know somebody that give a sample. You want a sample?
You have it, but that's the truth. Daddy, get over it. It's up there too.
This year, as we go into the new year, it's time to kick people out of your bed that's not attached to you and don't have a ring on it. Start giving away freebies. Because watch this, half the time when you go in the store and sample something, you don't always buy it. This one turn into this issue. I didn't either. I know y'all don't understand me. I know everything about me you don't understand. But I guarantee you there's nobody on this earth that has a better interest for your success than I do. I guarantee you. There's nobody on this earth, might be a few of us that want your marriage to work, want you to be happy. I done went over, y'all forgive me, I repent today, I done went over. The only person that had the order to go get a prostitute was it Hosea? Only one in the Bible I know that God told him where it's going. Now, y'all might be get mad at me. Get over it. Because in order to have God to bless you, you got to operate right in your house. I made the Lord, and I'm going to do this right now. Do this right now. Precious, I love my wife. And I done put her through some stuff. Yeah. I ain't perfect. Neither are you. So be careful when you judge somebody else. You better check yourself out. Because you ain't perfect either. When people say what you ain't doing, you better be careful because somebody's saying what you ain't doing. This year, I am praying for a prosperous church. I'm praying that you receive the increase that you need, that you learn how to sow. Give into the ministry. Sow into the ministry. And God will give back to you. Sow. Listen to what I'm telling you. Don't be afraid to sow because God will give it back. You don't want a struggling ministry. You want a prosperous ministry. But then you got to understand it's what you do to make it what you want it to be. Don't look at the other churches because they started from somewhere too. They may have started out in a shack too, but the people saw the vision and they wanted more. Don't look at Jake's building and say, wow, what Jake started. Remember, Jake started from a small storefront. If you want greater, you have to participate. This is what I'm saying this year. In time, let's get away from just penny pitching giving. Yeah. And want God to bless us abundance. Giving dollars and going out spending hundreds of dollars on things that you want. But you're giving God the leftovers. But you want him to bless you with the abundance. You might say, well, I'm going to another church where they telling me I got $100. It don't, 100 million coming. It don't matter. If they tell you you got 100 million coming, there's a price you got to pay. I'm sorry, y'all. I kept y'all over. I'm so sorry. But I'm claiming that this ministry will not be a struggling, begging, crawling ministry. I want to be able to do something for the young folks and the kids and for the adults. I want to be able to give back to people and sow back into people's lives. I want to be able to build things from end time that we can enjoy. I want to build businesses, build daycares, build homes, build things. I don't want just to be a ministry sitting in four walls not doing anything. And here is the key. I need your help. I need your help. And once you understand that I need your help and that you were sent here with a purpose, God didn't just send you here to sit here. He sent you here for a reason. There's a purpose on your life, the reason why you joined this ministry. And for you not to operate in your purpose is depreciate your life value. So the Lord told me, Pastor, it's time to grow up. Everybody ain't gonna agree. He said, get over it. What's that? Everybody ain't gonna shout on every message. Get over it. Every message ain't nobody gonna just fall out and just get over it. Preach the truth. Preach the truth. Preach the truth. I want to preach the truth in this next year. I want to preach the gospel. I want to minister. I don't want to just preach. I want to minister. I want people to hear what I'm saying and hear what God's saying. I want their lives changed as they leave this building. I don't want them to come in the same. I want things changed in their lives. I want them to change their lives so to the person they used to sleep with, they ain't sleeping with them no more. The people you used to lip lock with, you ain't lip locking because lip locking. In due season, you'll get it. Yours coming. Don't let your body be infected before he gets it. To all my leaders, hear what I'm saying today.
Yes, sir.
Hear me. Support the ministry. If we want great things, then we got to sow into this ministry. If we want the ministry to be greater, you got to sow into it. If you want me to be able to minister to your kids and send them places, you got to sow.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You got to sow. Don't listen to people say, oh man, you ain't got to sow. If you ain't got it, you ain't got it. Then you should be asking God, bless me. So I can give it. I'm going to go.
Oh, yes.
I'm repenting because I went over. This new year's got to be different. This new year, we got such awesome people in this place. Such awesome talent. Such creativity. Such minds that can come with stuff out of nowhere. And watch this. Get away from Pastor, you ain't using me. If you got a gift and you sitting on it, it's not that I ain't using you, it's that you sitting on it. Make yourself available. Pastor, I can do this. Let me do it. I can do this. Let me do it. 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 Touch somebody and tell them, get away from pity party. Get away from always want to
Now that you're no longer holding to your past and you shook the haters off and you shook the devil off and you're ready to move forward into your promise, into your destiny, just believe God and know that it's already done. Until we meet again, we love you. Be blessed. Don't forget to watch the service times on the next screen.